Hello students, I hope you all are doing well, and all of us know that being at home is the only solution for the problem of COVID-19. So we need to follow all the instructions given by the government. We need to be at home and be safe. Today we are going to continue the same chapter, that is electricity. And in the previous class we understood how the series and parallel connections are different from each other, and their advantages and disadvantages we have understood, and overall we understood that the parallel connections is having more advantages as compared to the series, and more about it we'll discuss in the next chapter also, that is magnetic effect of the current. So today we are going to take the next topic of this chapter, that is we are going to take the topic heating effect and the related concepts. And I'm repeating again that whenever we are doing any topic in physics, and if it is having some numerical, you must practice the numerical, because that is very important part of this subject, and that is the only way to understand the subject in a proper way. So I hope you are practicing the numerical from any reference book you have, or you can get it from the internet also, and get the confidence with the help of numerical. So let's start the class. So the topic we have is heating effect of electric current, and if you remember, you did this topic in class 7th also, but in class 10th we will have more explanation and we'll have derivation, numerical, that will help us to understand this concept in a better way. So the very first thing we have is heating effect. Let's understand the meaning, and as we did in class 7th also, that is when electric current is passed through any conductor, then the heat is produced in the conductor, and this phenomena is called heating effect of electric current. So the heat so produced in a conductor when the electric current is passed is given the name heating effect. And as we know, there are different effects of the electric current. We have magnetic effect also, we have chemical effect also, and in class 10th we are doing heating and we'll do magnetic as well. Okay, so let's understand the meaning properly. So very first you can read out, when electric charges flow in a conductor, they collide and the electric energy gets converted into heat energy. So the concept is, as we know, the energy cannot be created, cannot be destroyed, but can be converted, means can be transformed from one into other form. So when the electric charges are flowing in a conductor, means if there is a flow of current, we know within the conductor there is a disturbance, that is resistance is there, and because of that resistance, because of that disturbance, the electric energy of the electric charge will get converted into heat energy, and this phenomena is given the name heating effect. So heating effect is nothing but it is the conversion of electric energy into heat energy within the conductor due to the disturbance. Okay, so how much heat can be produced in a conductor, that we can calculate with the help of simple derivation. So let's take, we have a conductor of resistance R that is connected with a battery of voltage V, such that the current flowing through the conductor is I. So this is what assumption we have, and let in a particular time t, total number of charge that flow, the total quantity of the charge that will flow through this conductor is Q. So as we know, the concept we have done in one of the classes, that is V is equal to W upon Q, or W is equal to QV, where W is nothing but the energy, electric energy. So we can write down E is equal to QV. So if the charge is flowing through a potential difference of V, then the energy it will have is QV. So this derivation we have already done before. So if the energy with the charge is QV, then that much energy only can be converted into heat. So the maximum heat that can be produced in the conductor must be equal to H is equal to E is equal to QV. So this is the formula we have for the heat produced in a given conductor. Okay, so Let's continue this. Now we can modify this equation and we get some different equation. We know from the formula of the electric current, I is equal to Q by T and Q is equal to I into T. So finally the formula for H will be QV is equal to I into T into V. So in place of Q we can place IT. So finally we are getting an equation of heat produced in a conductor that is equal to VIT. So if you know how much is the potential difference given to the conductor, how much current is flowing through the conductor, and for how much time the current will flow through the conductor, we can find out how much heat can be produced in the conductor. Now let's modify this equation. We know from Ohm's law V is equal to IR. So in place of V we can place I into R in the above equation. So what it will be, V is equal to I into R, and then we have I already in the equation and then T. So the final equation we are getting H is equal to I square R into T. And this is one of the most important formula we have, and this is also called Joule's law of heating. So we'll discuss about this later on, but this is the most important formula we have for the heat produced in a given conductor. Now let's again get another equation of the heat produced in a conductor, because we know from Ohm's law I is equal to V upon R. So again if you see the above equation, H is equal to VIT. So in place of I now we can place V upon R. So it will become V square T upon R. So final equation we have H is equal to V square T upon R. So overall we are getting equation A, equation B and equation C, and these are nothing but the equation for the heat produced in a given conductor due to the flow of current. Okay, so overall all the three different formulas we are getting from the same formula, that is H is equal to QV. So we can total 4 equations we have which can help us to calculate the heat in a conductor, and all the 3 or 4 formulas are used separately in different cases, so that we'll understand. So I hope this derivation is understood. So the next we have Joule's law of heating. So equation we have seen, let's understand the meaning now. So it simply states that the heat produced in a current carrying conductor is proportional to the square of the electric current passing through it, is proportional to the resistance of the conductor, and is proportional to the time of flow of electric current. That is, H is proportional to I square, H is proportional to R, and is proportional to T. Or we can say H is proportional to I square R into T, and the constant will come here is 1. So finally we are getting H is equal to I square R into T. So this is the law which simply says that if the current is flowing through a conductor, then how much heat will be produced, that will be proportional to 3 different quantity, that is I square R and T. So it is understood, if H is proportional to I square, so more is the current flowing through the conductor, more will be the heat produced. And since it is a square, so if the electric current passing through a given conductor will become double, then that is 2 square will be 4. So the heat produced in this same conductor will become 4 times. If the current will become 3 times, then 3 square is 9. So heat produced in the given conductor will become 9 times. So this is the relation between the heat produced and the current flowing through a conductor. Second is, it is proportional to the resistance. That is, more will be the resistance, more will be the heat produced. So it is understood, if the resistance will increase, then disturbance will increase, and hence more will be the conversion of electric energy into heat energy. So this is second factor. And third factor is the time, T. So it is also understood, if more time is given for the electric current to flow, then more will be the flow of electric energy through the conductor, and hence more will be the conversion also of electric energy into heat energy. So more flow, more time, and more conversion of the electric into heat, and that is the overall meaning of this law. So since we understood the equations and formulas, let's go for some numerical based on the heating effect. And the very first we have is if 20 milliampere of electric current flows through a conductor of resistance 5 ohm for 50 seconds, find the heat produced in the conductor. So all things are given, that is I is given 20 milliampere, we can convert it into ampere, that is 0.02 ampere only. Resistance is 5 ohm and time is 50 seconds. And then we know the formula H is equal to I square R into T. Putting the values we are getting 0.1 joule. So we know that any form of energy will have the same SI unit, that is joule only. So that is coming 0.1, which is very less because the current is just 20 milliampere. So I hope this is very simple numerical. Another is two conducting wires of same material and of equal lengths and diameters are first connected in series, then parallel in a circuit. Find the ratio of heat produced in series and parallel combinations. Means there are two different conductors. They are first connected in series, so some heat will be produced, and then connected in the parallel. So the heat produced in two different cases will be the different, and we have to find the ratio of the heat produced. So when it is given two different conductors of same material and same dimension, it is understood both will have same resistance because material is same and the dimension is also same, that is same length and thickness. So overall the resistance of both the conductor will be same. So let the resistance be capital R of each conductor. And now since they should be connected in series, so let they are connected in series with the battery of voltage V. So we have to assume it, okay, because without the battery the heat cannot be produced. So we have connected with a battery of voltage V, and let Is is the current flowing through the conductor. So we know how to find out the electric current. In this circuit the two different resistors are in series and total resistance will be R plus R 2R. So the current will be, let Is is equal to V upon 2R, because the battery we have taken is V volt and total resistance is 2R. And now if this current will flow for a particular time t, then in the time t the heat produced will be I square R into T. So I is equal to Is, so Is square into Rs into T. Putting the values we are getting V square T upon 2R. So this is the equation for the heat produced in this case. Now same two resistors are connected in parallel and the power supply should be same, because when we are finding the ratio of the heat produced, then the power supply should be same in both the cases here, and the time taken should also be same. So we know in the parallel the resistance will be R by 2 here. This shortcut we have done in previous class. If the different resistors are connected in parallel and the value is same, then total resistance will be the value of one resistance divided by the number of resistor. So R by 2 total resistance of this circuit, and current let it be IP flowing through this circuit. So V upon Rp, that is 2V upon R. So we got the current, we got the resistance of this circuit. So we have equation Hp is equal to Ip square into Rp into T, where Hp is the heat produced in this combination. So putting all, we are getting Hp is equal to 2V square T upon R. So we got the heat produced in series and parallel. We can divide, and once you divide you will see the V, T and R will be cancelled out, and finally you will be getting 1 by 4. So we can say the ratio is 1:4. So you need to do this yourself also, so that you can find out how the things are coming, how they are getting cancelled out. Okay, so simple, but the only thing is we need to know how to do it. So if you see in both the cases, very first the battery is same, voltage is same, time is taken same, and one by one we have solved it for series and parallel. Okay, so a note, if you see two different formulas we have, that is H is equal to I square R into T for the heat produced. So based on this equation we can say that the heat produced is proportional to R, more resistance more heat. but we got another equation, H is equal to V square T upon R also, and according to this H is inversely proportional to R, means less resistors, more heat. So we can say this is a contradiction, because the heat produced is proportional to R and it is also inversely proportional to R, so how is it possible? So you should know it's not a contradiction, but these two different formulas are having different concepts and can be applicable in different cases. So if the current passing through all the resistors, many resistors are connected in a circuit, and if they are connected in series, then we know the electric current passing through each resistor will be same in series. So if the current is passing through the resistor is same, then what will be deciding the heat produced in the resistor? That is the value of resistor. So if you have to compare in which resistor the heat produced will be more or less, so that will be totally depending upon the resistance. So in this case we will go for the formula I square R into T, that is we can say H is proportional to R, means more will be the value of resistance, more will be the heat produced in the resistor. So if we have series combination, we'll compare the heat produced in different resistor with the help of this formula, because in this case I is constant. So we can say we can see in first equation current is there but voltage is not there, and in the second equation voltage is there but current is not there. So this way we can remember. So I hope it is clear. And in the parallel, if different resistors are connected, then in which resistor the heat produced will be more or less, that will be decided by the again resistance value. And we know if the different resistors are connected in parallel, then the electric current will get distributed, and the resistor whose resistance is minimum will have maximum current, because we know I is inversely proportional to R. So in the parallel combination, if different resistors are connected, then the resistance or the resistor who is having minimum resistance will have maximum current passing through it, and since maximum current will pass through that resistance, so maximum heat will be produced. So less is the value of resistance, more will be the current, and hence more will be the heat produced. So that is how in this case, that is in parallel, the heat produced will be inversely proportional to the R. So if a resistor is sorted concept we have done, means across the resistor if you just connect a wire, so the entire current will flow through the wire. Means if a wire is connected parallel to the resistor, then we know the entire current will flow through the wire only, and the current will not flow through the resistor. So in that case, if the current is not flowing through the resistor, then heat cannot be produced in the resistor, so the entire current will flow through the wire. Okay, so that is how in parallel the heat produced will be inversely proportional to the R. So these two concepts we can use when we have series and parallel combination to compare the heat produced in a given conductor. So I hope you can relate it. So for today the topic is done. We only have heating effect for the class today, and based on the understanding, you have one numerical. A conductor of resistance 100 ohm is cut into 5 equal parts, and then they are connected in parallel with a battery of 20 volt. How much heat will be produced in the circuit if the current flows for a minute? So I hope you can try. And simple concept is, one conductor is cut into 5 parts, and then they are connected with a battery of 20 volt, and then the circuit is switched on for 1 minute. So in 1 minute how much heat will be produced in the circuit? So I hope you can try. So we'll continue this chapter, and the only thing is you need to maintain the notebook and do all the questions which are given to you, do the worksheet that is given to you, and any doubts just write down so that you can discuss in the live session. And each and every concept in this class is very important. In the next class we are going to talk about the applications of the heating effect. So we'll take lots of examples from the real life, and then we'll come to the electric power, and we are almost at the end of this chapter. So for today is done. Thank you. Take care. Hari Om.